Japan will drain radioactive water from Fukushima into the ocean. What will the effects be? The Japanese government has decided to release radioactive water from Fukushima into the ocean. This won't happen until 2023, but the decision has sparked a lot of comments and protests. New research indicates that the radioactive water will quickly spread into the Pacific Ocean. However, the concentration of the radioactive isotope of hydrogen tritium will be so negligible in it that it will not pose a threat. The radioactive water comes from the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant accident that occurred in 2011. After the incident, it was common to see maps on the internet showing the supposed extent of the contaminated water. In reality, it was a map of the height of the tsunami waves that caused the damage to the plant. All the radioactive water from the cooling system is about 1.3 million liters, enough to fill 500 Olympic swimming pools. It was contained in 1,000 steel silos at Fukushima. It was then purified of the heavier radioactive elements. What remained in it were trace amounts of them, and all of the hard-to-remove tritium. This isotope of hydrogen is part of the molecules of so-called heavy water, so removing it is not possible for practical reasons. Radioactive water from Fukushima will hit the ocean within 40 years. The water will not be released into the ocean all at once. The entire process is expected to take about 40 years. Tritium has a half-life of 12.5 years. This means that half of it is gone after that amount of time. The isotope decays, emitting energetic electrons. It is their flux that constitutes the radiation, called beta radiation in this case. Now the scientists have decided to create a real map of the possible contamination once the radioactive water from Fukushima has reached the ocean. They published the results of their simulations in the scientific journal National Science Review. They show that the water will spread over an extremely wide area, covering about 1/10 of the entire Pacific Ocean in about 120 days. Most of the radioactive water will concentrate in a band around the 35th parallel of the northern hemisphere. It will take 10 times as long, 1,200 days, or about 4 years, for the radioactive water to reach the coast of North America. After 2,400 days, in turn, it will reach the waters of the Atlantic through the Panama Canal and through the Straits of Indonesia to the Indian Ocean. Tritium from radioactive water from Fukushima will not be a threat. While this sounds like a very catastrophic scenario, the same simulation shows that tritium will pose very little threat. The beta radiation emitted by tritium does not penetrate the skin. It is trapped by the epidermis. Ingestion would pose a greater risk, but the amount of tritium in ocean water will be negligible. 1.3 million liters of water contaminated by the power plant accident seems like a huge amount. However, the volume of the Pacific Ocean is incomparably larger. 660 billion cubic kilometers is 660 trillion liters. The water from Fukushima will therefore be a completely negligible admixture of ocean water. The accident at the Fukushima power plant has given the entire nuclear power industry a bad name. It was partly due to this event that Germany decided to phase out its existing nuclear power plants by 2022. Meanwhile, as noted by renowned biologist and environmentalist James Lovelock, the tsunami that caused the Fukushima accident killed 26,000 people. Not a single person died as a result of the power plant accident.